It's time to return to the digital world, guys. What's going on, everyone? It's Max Clausen. So, as I said in its profile, I'm here to bring an update to my virtual world deck. But instead of my virtual world, it is mixed in with a little engine, which you probably see in the thumbnail, and that is the adventure tokens. Now I know I'm late to the party. You, Max, this has already been done by a lot of people. Yeah, you know what? I don't care. I didn't have adventure tokens when they came out. I refused to get them at the time because they were dumb expensive for no reason. But I have them now, many moons later, and it helps the deck out a little bit. So anyway, we're gonna focus on the main extra and side deck, as I always do for you guys. If you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like in the Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section about what you would play and stuff, and subscribe to the channel for more. So, I'm gonna get into this video. It's gonna be a little different build up. So for the monsters, we play 3 Lao Lao, only 2 Lily, the 3 Lulu, the 2 Nyan, and the 3 Gigi. Now, my reasoning for doing this is because I want to cut down on the monsters that don't really do too much for my strategy, being that of Lily and Nyan. I mean, if you have seen the other profile, I shouldn't have to explain these to you, but if you didn't, well, explanation. All of these, with the exception of Nyan, can summon themselves from the hand while you have a face-up virtual world card on the field. So, and they all have different effects upon summon. So, Lala reborns a virtual world monster from your graveyard on summon. Lily will Foolish Burial 2 cards instead of just 1. Lulu, the important one, adds one of the third type of a card that you didn't send to the graveyard. And Gigi will add one of the virtual world monsters back to your hand when summoned via his effect. Nyan, if you summon a level 3 monster while she's in the graveyard, she can reborn herself as a tuner but banish when she leaves the field. And upon being banished, her second effect kicks in where she'll add a banished card back to your hand, be it face up or face down. So if you happen to banish one of her face down some way, don't worry, you can get it right back. Now for the engine that you here for, I play the 1 Griffin Rider and the 3 Water Enchantress. So, I gotta put these up a little more, but these cards, this is your adventurer package. Griffin, while you have a no monster or a token on the field, I believe. Yeah, if you have no monsters or you control its adventurer token, you can summon him straight to the field. And he's a walking Omni Negate, but he has to target himself to to shuffle back to the deck to negate the card. So if they have the Imperm, they have the Imperm. It's whatever. The next card is Water Enchantress. You can banish her from your hand or graveyard to add an adventurer token or a card, Fate Rite of Aramesir, or a card that mentions it, I believe. Add back to your hand, and she's also level 3, so you can summon her and she'll trigger off Nyan's effect. Just, plays all around. Another reason I play her is because I found out a nice little combo that we'll get into a little later. So, this is all you play. I would play the Illegal Knight, but I want to see how this build goes without using it. Last up, for the hand traps of my choice, I play 2 Ash Blossoms, not 3. Stop your opponent from interacting with the deck. And the 2 Ghost Ogre, just because she fits into the theme of the deck, being a psychic type monster and level 3, so Nyan. Also, just, tuners, so help me out with synchro climbing. That's it for the monster lineup. So, decent round of monsters, a cool 20. Now, for the spells and traps, we do still play the 3 Qinglong. I main only the 2 Kowloon. And for the other spells, the 2 Small World, the 2 Tactics Thrust, the 2 E-Telly, the 2 Aramesir, the 1 Faithful Adventure, the 1 Dracoback, and the 1 Triple Tactics Talents. Spell Rush, I know, but for these things, you should already know, but this is a continuous spell of Breakthrough Skill, and you can banish it from the graveyard to search, but you have to discard after. Sets one of your virtual world gates face up on your field upon activation, and then does other effects, but they're not too relevant, so we're not gonna go into them. Small World, this I realize this card is now even more busted in this deck because if you have noticed, a lot of my things are level 3 and can bridge into each other. So in the scenario where I have Ghost Ogre in my hand, I'm going first. I banish, reveal Ghost Ogre. I'll banish. I will. I reveal a Ash Blossom, which is a not a zombie, but they both do have the same defense. So I banish both of them, and now I can add Water Enchantress. I can add Gigi. I can add Nyan. I can add Lulu. Like, I found I can add quite a few things with this deck with the lines I can go into, and there's another line in the side deck that you guys are really gonna be going like, oh wow, you can. So Felix Small was good in here. I'm running with the theory, or kind of what's the word of it? Not a revelation, but I'm going with the theory craft that I only want to play two of the hard once per turn cards because I don't want to draw into too many of them. Even though E-Telly's not a hard once per turn, but we don't play too many of all level 3s in this deck. So that's my reviews for Small World. Triple Tactics Thrust, pretty mandatory. Your opponent activates something during your turn. You can set a normal spell or trap to your field, or if they control a monster, when you activate this, you can add it to your hand. So if they didn't draw you, you can add your tactics, you can add your right, you can add Small World, you can add this, and it's just a really good card. And add things that we have in the side deck. E-Telly, very important card in this deck, is your honorary virtual world card. Activate it, you can summon one of your tuners, pretty straightforward. And Rite of Eremacir, this great card that is still probably worth some money. I don't know the price of it right now. If you don't control an adventure token you can summon an adventure token at the level 4. And you can banish this card to add one of the... Oh, no, we don't banish. But if you don't control Faithful Adventure, you can just place it right up into your spell and trap zone. So it's a really good card. Speaking of Faithful Adventure, once while it's on the field, it has two different effects. So you can either add a monster that lists Rite of Eremacir Adventure token in its text. And if you summon a monster, you can draw a card and then put back one or discard it. It's been a while, guys. Yeah. Yes, man, you can add a monster that mentions Adventure token from your deck to your hand, and send a card from your hand to the graveyard. If a monster is summoned or normal summon, you can take the equip spell from your deck and place it onto your field. But we only run once, so that's a once per turn thing that'll happen. Speaking of Draco back. When this card is discarded, if you control an adventure token on the field, you can place it right into your spell and trap zone, so it's never really too dead unless you just happen to draw it. And once per turn, for your adventure tokens, you can bounce cards your opponent controls, so it gets a nice little compulsory evacuation device effect. And Tactics Talent is Tactics Talent. Just activate three pretty great card effects. Now for the traps, only the two, the Virtual Chuche and the one Jean Wu. Standard, level modulation, and return two of your banished Virtual World cards with different names to your deck to target a card on the... Well, first you target, that's the cost, and then you shuffle. Then you would shuffle your cards back and then pop that card. And then Jean Wu is your Monster Reborn from the graveyard. That's it for the deck. That is a solid 40. Now for the extra hasn't changed too much, but there are some nice cards in here. Still running the Coral Dragon and the Stardust Charge Warrior and the one Geo. These are your standard level 6s that you should and must play. You should never really... If you could play without the Stardust Charge Warrior if you want to. I would say that's the one you would cut. But both of these are draw power, so why would you want to cut them? I do run Wind Pegasus because I can make level 7s with the Adventurer tokens and my level 3 tuners. So, this is a good card. It's a walking MST. You can always pop one card thanks to himself being on the field. And if he's in the graveyard and one of your cards is destroyed by your opponent, you can banish him and then bounce one of the opponent's cards back to their hand. For the 9s, we play the 1 Crocosaurus, the 1 Vermilion, and the 1 Shen. Vermilion, Crocosaurus, will help draw cards equal to the number of non-tuners used for its summon. Gains 500 attack for every card in your hand. You can pitch 2 cards to destroy a card on the field. Vermilion's kind of same thing. Banish a tuner from your hand or graveyard. Hand, field, or graveyard. And then pop a card. If he's destroyed by a card effect from your opponent, you can add one of your banished tuners back to your hand. Shen, wish he was better, but he's our walking macrocosmos only from the field. Anything from the hand and deck is still good. If one of your monsters battle, he'll put one of your banished cards back into the graveyard. So before the ban list that neutered us, we would always put back Cyframe Driver and then add Gamma back when they would destroy him with a card effect. That came up against me when I was fighting ninjas, or I believe it was ninjas, or maybe been a different deck. But I was fighting it. They popped Vermilion with effect. I would say, cool, activate, add Gamma back to my hand. So go ahead and use your monster effect. You lose. And his other ability, during your main phase, except the turn he was sent there, you can banish 2 monsters with different types and attributes, summon them back to the field. We run the 1 Baron de Fleur because we do, again, as the Adventurer tokens, we can make Maker with a level 6 tuner. We have the 1 Shang Yang, which is another option I would like to go into. This helps out with this deck so much you wouldn't believe it. Anytime something from your graveyard is banished, you can banish a card from your opponent's field and their grave. And if he would be destroyed by an effect, you just banish a card from the graveyard, which would also proc his effect. And for every banished card, he gains 100 attack, and your opponents lose 100 attack and defense. And from one final synchro, we run the final Sugma. Just summon an extra monster zone, make him unaffected by everything but Mathmech cards. And when he inflicts battle damage, it's double. Can't really use the other effect because we don't play Mathmechs in this, but that's for the synchros. Now, for the XCs, the 1 Beatrice for foolishing any card in our deck. The 1 Fan, which, all Virtual War players must run this because, it's a rank 6. That's our most summoned rank, so I don't play any more rank 3s because they're not... If I want to use my level 3s, I want to use them to synchro climb or to XC climb into higher rank stuff. So I'm not playing any rank 3s. You can if you want to. But Fan, it's very good. Detach your materials, banish stuff from your opponent's field, I believe. Target a card your opponent controls and 1 card in either graveyard, so banish them. So another Shang Yang. And when it's destroyed, you can summon... while it's in the monster zone, you can summon 2 virtual world monsters of the same type and attribute, so that afterwards he can help you go on the synchro climbing. I do main my favorite boy, Utopia Beyond the Hope. On summon, make all your opponent's monsters attack 0 if they're unaffected, But if they can be affected, this is really crazy. This is the combo with Final Sigma, make them 0 attack. They take 6,000, 3,000 for overgame. The Gaia Dragon to overlay over Beatrice or Virtual War Fan for more materials for our boy Zeus. That's it for the extra deck. And now going into the side. So bear with me, this side is pretty nuts, in my opinion. To change out the hand traps, I do side in the 2 Droll and the 2 Ghost Spell. If the opponent touches the deck, you can activate this. And sometimes, depending on the deck, their turn immediately ends there. So this really shuts down super heavies. I don't know if it shuts down purely, but super heavies, Cash Terror, if they're still viable, which they sorta are. Even though they got neutered pretty hard, losing 3 cards. It's Droll and Lockbird. Why should I have to explain it to you guys? Ghost Bell, keep your opponent from touching the graveyard. If you use this against Mathmechs, when they activate their trap, just no. Alright, well, now their power play is dead. And the spicy card, I made the one Gandala because I want you guys to look at this. He's a wind. He's too high of a level, but not only is he a wind attribute, focus, he has also got 1600 defense. So, if I happen to banish one of my level 3s and banish GG, GG has 1600 defense, so I can literally search out Gandharla. It's ridiculous. Might side too, but seeing as I can search it out, I don't really think I should or need to. Next, for the two L's that we can search off with our tactics, we got the two Dark Ruler, the now limited, semi-limited to Lightning Storm. Only want to play two of this anyway. Can only activate both of these once a turn, so works. Activate, they can't respond to it. Activate, blow out your monsters and or back row. And play the three evenly, which I can search out. If you happen to open up two, you're just a god, which I have done multiple times. And the one card I do want to try playing in this deck again because it's so synchro heavy. The 3 Gravity Collapse. Guys, just if you haven't gotten this card, I'm so sorry because it has jumped up in price. But Gravity Collapse, I have a synchro on the field. Set this. If you don't have back removal, you summon a monster. Activate, tribute that synchro. In this case, likely Shen Shen. Negate that summon, destroy it. Your opponent can't summon anything else. They can't set, they can't tribute special, they can't kaiju, any... Guys, this card just ends a turn. All you can do is really set back row and pray to God I don't open up my Lightning Storm or some way to just ending the game. Well, that is going to be it for the Virtual World Adventurer token deck profile. Remember, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Leave some comments down below of how other ways you would play this deck. This is one of my favorite synchro decks because it's, I do climb very well into this deck. If you really want to see more of my content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post community messages or post a video. I am making messages a lot, so do be on the lookout for those to be updated. And follow my social medias down below and consider supporting your friend. Gotta help us small YouTubers or YouTubers in general. But that's enough rambling from me. Anyways, I'll catch you all in the next video. Return to the past now.